Hello guys, today I'll be ranking the Static X discography, mainly focusing on their main studio albums, and keep in mind this is just my personal ranking. You don't have to agree with it, but feel free to let me know your ranking in the comment section below. But yeah, there may be 2 or 3 albums that I'd maybe switch or move around, but besides that, my ranking is fairly concrete, except for, again, maybe 2 or 3 certain albums. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. I'll be going from worst to best, so right at the bottom, I do have Cult of Static, and yeah, I can see many other fans putting this album at the bottom too. It's just this album, based on how it sounds like to me the band was just losing steam around this time. And overall, I like the album. I'd say it's good, but not great. But some of my favorites: Lunatic, Z28, Terminal, which I think is maybe the most underrated song on here. I really like that song. And Stingray is also a pretty good song overall. But yeah, overall, good album. It's decent, but it's definitely easily my least favorite. And then we get to the next 2 albums, which honestly go back and forth, but I'll go with Project Regeneration Volume 1. Hopefully we'll get Volume 2 in 2022. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, and this is a signed copy. But yeah, really enjoyed the album when it came out. I'll admit there's maybe 2 or 3 songs that are maybe skippable, 3 or 4, who knows, but yeah, I'd say 2 or 3, but some of my favorites: Worth Dying For, Terminator Oscillator. I really like Accelerate. That's kind of an underrated song at this point. Follow, I think, is kind of underrated too. Odd Sequel Placebo is really good. But I also really like the album closer, which is fairly different from the rest of the album, a bit more melodic. But you also have vocals from Al from Ministry, which I really like because I am a Ministry fan. But yeah, Dead Souls, really good song. I wouldn't have a problem putting that song up in one of my favorite Static X songs. Top 30, 20 maybe. But yeah, I really like that song a lot. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty good album and pretty great comeback. But next we have Cannibal. During the more early years of being a fan for me, I remember really enjoying this album. Nowadays, I don't listen to this album as much as I used to, but once in a while I return to certain tracks. I really like the title track, of course. No Submission. Destroyer, of course, definitely a big song for them. Cuts You Up is hands down one of the most underrated songs. If there's that's definitely a song that if you haven't heard it in a while, definitely give it another listen. That song is just excellent. But yeah, really a lot of bangers on this album. Now we have Shadow Zone, maybe their most mainstream or commercial sounding album. And for that reason, I can see that album being lower for some people, but I've seen some people consider this album their favorite or one of their favorites. So you can maybe say the album's a bit divisive, depending on who you ask, but some of my favorites: Control It. I like New Pain a lot. The Only and Kill Your Idols. The reason why this album isn't higher is mainly because of what you get after Kill Your Idols. So is really the only song I return to when it comes to the songs after, again, Kill Your Idols. I mean, I'm not saying that the other songs are bad. Invincible is okay. All in Wait is okay, but yeah, when you get past Kill Your Idols, the album starts to get a little bit uninteresting for me personally, except for, again, the song So. But again, I wouldn't consider any of the songs on here bad though. But yeah, overall, pretty solid album. Then we get to the next album, Start a War. I definitely have a soft spot for this album since this was the first Static X album that I picked up on CD, and definitely have many great memories with the album. I mean, definitely really strong first half, especially. I mean, those first 7 songs, really damn good. But you also have other great songs like Set It Off. Night Terrors is an underrated song, one of the most underrated songs, I'd say. And Braden Fog has some pretty interesting instrumentation there. But yeah, the album feels a little bit darker, a bit more gritty, but I don't know, I really dig it. And then we move on to Machine, and I can see this album also being lower for some people because it's not talked about as much as some of their other albums, but I don't know. Also, I think this was their highest charting album, if I remember correctly, or their highest selling. I could be wrong about that, but Well, at least with charting, I think that's their highest charting album. But anyways, I've always really dug this album. I thought it was a really good follow-up to Wisconsin Death Trip. But yeah, some of my favorites: Get to the Gone, which is hands down a banger. Permanences or whatever, definitely one of the most underrated songs, I'd say. Black and White, Odd One Dead, which is a contender for being maybe my favorite Odd song. Cold is really good, but In the Bag and Burn to Burn are also really dang good that I think are pretty underrated songs. But yeah, I really dig this album a lot. And then, of course, to no surprise, at the top we got Wisconsin Death Trip, which most people would probably put at the top. Definitely kind of a game changer album when it comes to nu metal, especially with the incorporation of industrial elements, such as with songs like Stem and Sweat of the Bud and The Trance is the Motion, which is one of my personal favorites on the album. But you also can't go wrong with the singles too. So the first 3 songs, and you also have Love Dump, which was a song that over time I've grown to like more and more, because during my early years of being into Static X, the song I thought was just okay, but I've grown to like it more and more. But yeah, honestly, you can't really go wrong with any of the songs on this album. Sure, there are songs better than others, like with any album, but yeah, still overall really good album. Definitely a nu metal classic, I'd say. Don't care what anyone says. This album is just so good. Definitely nu metal goodness. But anyways, that's my ranking for Static X. Let me know your thoughts on my ranking in the comment section below. Let me know your ranking. Let me know favorite or least favorite songs or albums and all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.